I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com, and today I'd like to share with you some fun, alternate project ideas that I created using the contents of the January 2018 Paper Pumpkin Kit from Stampin' Up, titled Heartfelt Love Notes. This kit came straight to my mailbox and contained all of these goodies. All the papers, the adhesives, the embellishments, and accessories that I need to make the intended cards as shown here. Plus, I received a new stamp set and an ink pad that I can continue to use after this kit is completed. I just need my clear block, and a free one was included with my first kit, and a scissors. Each kit also includes written directions with photos inside this mini publication and a link to a how-to video. I've shared alternate ideas with every single Paper Pumpkin kit, so if you have a past kit, be sure to check out all my other videos and visit my blog to see even more. You can also explore alternate project ideas on Pinterest, with Google searches, on the Paper Pumpkin Fan Club on Facebook, and with other videos here on YouTube. Plus, if you decide to give Paper Pumpkin kits a try and you choose me as your demonstrator, I'll email you lots more ideas each month that are exclusive to my subscribers only. I'll be using a few extra supplies as I share my unique projects. You can find these items listed below and linked to my online store. You can also look below for links to learning more about Paper Pumpkin kits, starting your subscription, rewards that you can earn when purchasing a prepaid subscription during celebration, joining my Paper Pumpkin Fan Club on Facebook, and seeing peeks of some exclusives that I send my personal subscribers. If you're watching my video on YouTube, you can also click on the link below that will lead you to my website where I've shared close-up photos of what I'm going to be sharing today. Let's get started. The intended cards that you get to make with this kit are really adorable. You get to make 16 of them, 8 of these and 8 of these. I did mine a little bit differently. Instead of closing them shut with the ribbon here, I just attached the ribbon to one section. You're supposed to actually bring it all the way through, but I did not because I wanted my card to be able to open without having to untie the cute bow. And then we've got, of course, a little pocket for your note to go into. And so that's what the cards are supposed to look like when you make them as per the kit directions. But let's say that you want to use your card as a little pocket, a little Valentine with a pocket in it. So let's go ahead and seal this portion up. I'm going to use my snail adhesive because it goes a little bit quicker. It's just a tape runner type of adhesive, and then you can seal it down like that. See, now we have just a pocket like that. We're going to go ahead and put some ribbon around the card. So we'll just weave it through here, and we're going to bring it around, and we'll tie it into a bow at the bottom here. I'm going to use my scissors that is intended for ribbon. I always put a little ribbon on my scissors that I don't want to cut paper with, and then the other one I leave just plain. So if you have a problem with your scissors getting dull, that may be something that you'll want to try as well. Go ahead and tie this bow really quickly here, and then we're going to add some embellishments. So we're going to go ahead and put down one of those pink stickers from the kit. And now we're going to put a couple glue dots right in the middle of one of these vellum banner pieces. And what I've got here is one of the little inserts for the cards. I have a piece of it because I've been working on this kit prior to this video. So I'm going to stamp on a portion of this. And I'm going to use my large Rich Razzleberry ink pad. You do get a smaller one in the kit, but because I have the larger ones, it just makes the stamping a little bit quicker. To put your stamp on your block, you'll peel back the plastic on one side, and you'll grab the stamp that you want, and it clings. You just stick it right on your clear block, and you're ready to ink it up. Now I've got one mounted on an ergonomic block because we have these in the online store, and they're much more comfortable on the hands, so I'm going to go ahead and ink this one up, and we're going to stamp it down onto our scrap. And then we're going to grab our paper scissors and we're going to trim. We're going to trim all the way around those images. You get a sheet of dimensionals in the kit as well, so just cut a couple of them in half on the sheet, and then you can put them on the backing of these pieces. And we're going to start with the middle one, which is the largest one, and we're going to go right across the middle where the glue dots are to cover them up. And the other ones can kind of go wherever. And they can go sort of even off the label like that. And then we've got some of these wonderful little enamel shapes, and we'll go ahead and add a couple of those. And now we have our festive little pocket Valentine. And here is another version. This is the vertical version because of course you got the hearts going in a certain direction. So you want to make sure that that one is straight up and down. So again, just the same thing, just a pocket. I've got the vellum heart back there with the label that has the copper little lining on it. Tied a bow on the side here only, and then have the little accents, the enamel little accents on there. Super simple. But now I'm going to show you how to double those supplies in case you want to change 16 Valentines into 32. Let's say you're a teacher or you're a mom and you're helping your kiddo make some Valentines. So the only additional supplies I have are the paper trimmer, some strong adhesive, my scissors of course, and then I'm going to use the black ink in this. This is the Tuxedo Black Memento ink, but you can certainly use the rich raspberry color. Let's start by taking one of the note cards and we're going to cut it in half. So it's not sealed shut or anything, it's just as is. This note card is 3.5 inches wide. So when we put it in the trimmer, we want to make sure that it's at the 1 3/4 inch mark, which is this mark here, right before the 2. I zoomed in a bit so that you can see it a little bit better. And we're just going to slice that right in half. Okay, now we have 2. But we need to go ahead and remove some of these parts. So we're going to take our scissors now and we're going to cut off this little piece here at the bottom. This one already came off, so we're just going to set that aside. You can use that for accenting later on another project if you wish. So we'll just push those aside. Now we're going to grab our strong adhesive. Oh, we have to do one more trim. Hang on a minute. We have to cut this one open, actually. So we're going to slice it right at the bottom. And then we're going to put adhesive here and here, just along the sides. And this is our tear and tape adhesive. You can tear it, but I always mess up. And for some reason I pick up a little bit of cardstock on it. Another thing that you might want to do on your own is make sure that that adhesive is super close to the edge. The closer you have it, the more you can fit in there. And then you can go ahead and take like a bone folder or the back of your fingernail and just really press that adhesive down. We'll open this, we'll take the backing off and we're going to press it flat onto there. So this kind of Valentine obviously needs to hold some skinny treats. I'll give you some examples of those really soon, but let's go ahead and embellish. We'll take our Tuxedo Black ink and one of our labels, and we've got some cute to from hearts in this kit. So we'll go ahead and stamp one at the top and one sort of off to the right on the bottom so that we have room to write underneath. I know that typically you would put your 2 hearts on the side and right after it, yeah, because there's the colon there, right? But I like to have things look even, so you can write the name underneath there at an angle and underneath there. Doesn't matter, right? Okay, after you've done that, then we're going to go ahead and stamp another piece. Let's go ahead and stamp the You Make My Heart Happy image onto one of the pink labels. And we're gonna go vertical with this one. And we'll close up the ink. On this piece here, let's go ahead and take one of our vellum banners and we're going to cut it in half. And then we're going to put them over each other so that they're overlapping. And we're going to trim following that cut so we have the same angle. And we'll do the same thing to the other side. So I'm just switching them so that this one is on the top, and I'm trimming this end now. And they don't have to be equal in size. because you're going to trim those both in half. And that way you have doubled your banners. Okay, let's take this one and let's peel off the pink sticker, and we're going to pick up one of the vellum pieces on the end here, and we'll do the same thing to this side. Then we're going to take some more of this strong adhesive, because when we put our little treat inside here, it's going to bend the container a little bit, and we want to make sure that our label stays on. And this will peel the backing off of, and we'll stick it down right about here. And then in this little spot, we'll remove that hole. Take our ribbon, bring it through. Since we have a hole there, we might as well fill it with ribbon, right? And we're going to tie that. And then on this one, we'll do the same thing with the strong adhesive. Okay, this one we're going to turn this way because we want to make sure that the hearts are facing in the right direction. So yes, it looks like our opening is now down at the bottom, and that's okay. Let's go ahead and take some of these little guys, the enamel shapes, and we're just going to put one over the top of that heart and a little one over the top of this heart. Okay, and last we can insert our little fun treats. So in this one here, since we have the little raspberry enamel shapes, let's stick some purplish colored pixie sticks in there. Pixie sticks are perfect for filling these containers because they're nice and flat, and they don't take up a lot of room. Another thing that you could use is a ruler, and I got these rulers at the dollar store, so they were 3 for $1, which isn't a bad deal when it comes to Valentine's. So you can go ahead and insert a little ruler, and that way you're not promoting bad teeth. So that's one thing you can put in there. You can also put in like little pencils, mechanical pencils. Older kids like to get those. And then of course fun colored pencils that might coordinate. And here are a couple of other versions. This is the same thing, only I used the ink that comes in the kit. Filled this one with a mechanical pencil. I think that looks really classy. And then these two here go horizontal because, of course, the words are going the other way. So you could totally, make your Valentines go the other direction if you'd like. So let's say that's what you did with the kit. You made 32 little Valentines. You're going to have some leftover pieces. You're going to have all the envelopes. You're going to have all of these white cards that look like this. You're going to have a bunch of scraps that are pink on one side and printed on the other. And of course, you're going to have some of these hearts. You'll even have some leftover ribbon. So these are just a couple cards that I did. I added some cardstock in. I used the soft suede color cardstock. So just brought some of that in, used my paper trimmer, and on this one I took and cut it to note card size. So I cut it to 3.5 by 5, and then when opened up it's 7 inches by 5. So I've got inside here one of the pieces from the note cards, the little inserts, and I've also cut a little piece off here, stamped it. I've got an accent little pink piece, and that comes from one of these little scraps. I've used some ribbon, and I just stuck it on with a glue dot after I tied it in a bow. But you'll notice that this lettering is a little bit different color. That is embossed lettering. If you're not familiar with embossing, I'll need to teach that to you, but I'm not going to do that in this video. You want to stamp using a Versamark ink pad, like a sticky clear ink, and then you're going to sprinkle powder on it. The powder will cling to where the ink is. You'll tap off the excess powder so that you don't have any extra residue around there, and then you're going to use what's called a heat tool. Make sure that you don't burn your finger, heat up the paper, and it raises that lettering and gives you a really nice metallic look. So that's one card that you could do. You could also take this front flap, and after you folded it in half, fold it back this way, and you can create this type of fold. And you have this really simple card that you could give to a guy because it's not too frilly and pink. Not saying that guys don't want frilly and pink, but it's a more masculine looking card. And then you've got your vellum heart back there. You've got a couple hearts that you cut out here from, of course, these scraps again. And then I stamped using that tuxedo black color on the inside so that that shows up after you open up the card. To get those hearts, I used I think they're called Sweet and Sassy dies. They're little dies that you run through the Big Shot. So you'd lay this on top of your cardstock in the direction that you want it to go, and then you'd crank it through that Big Shot machine, and it would cut through the paper and create some fun hearts. You could also use punches to punch out some hearts, or you know that old-fashioned way of making hearts. You fold your paper in half, then you take your scissors and you cut a C with a point at the bottom, open it up, and you have a fun little heart. Too funny, I just made myself giggle because it's really not an old-fashioned way of making hearts. Kids still do it. It's just old-fashioned in my mind because I have all these tools now. All right, so we're going to make a pocket scrapbook page now. These are our pocket pages. You just insert photos into them, but it's always fun to decorate some of the pockets. So you can kind of see with the lighting there, the layout that you get it with this one. Notice when you open up these little cards, I've already cut this one, sorry. When you open up these cards, they have kind of a heart look to them already. Isn't that clever? The designers did that on purpose, I'm sure. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make sure that our heart can fit into one of these 6" by 4" pockets here. And to do that, we've already got a flat side here, so we're going to grab our trimmer and we're going to put this up to the 4" mark on our trimmer. So here's our 4 inches, and we're going to trim off this piece at the bottom here. Make sure that you hold it tight. And now we've got that little piece to set aside. Then we also want to cut this so that it fits into it the other way, and that will be 3 inches wide. And we're actually going to go slightly over, not by much, but just a little bit over. That way it will fit in the pocket real snug. And we're going to trim that off. That gets rid of these little guys here too, the ones that have the holes in them. So in case they pop out accidentally, you don't have to worry about them. So those are gone. And now when we open this up and we stick this into the pocket, we have what looks like a heart that was starting to be formed, but it's not quite all the way in there. And that's the look I was going for. This piece here, I forgot to tell you, you'll want to trim off from the card, which you probably guessed that by now, but we're going to cut it into 2 pieces. So you're just going to come along here, along the folded part of the card, and trim that into 2 pieces. And it's okay if it's a rough cut, because you don't need the whole piece anyways. So we're just going to trim that up. And then this one, we're going to open up and use the middle portion as a piece of cardstock. So we're going to open that all the way up. We're going to cut out from the center. So first let's get rid of one of the flaps. We're going to cut out from the center a 3 by 4" size piece. So now that we've trimmed off one of the flaps, we can bring that edge right up to the edge of the trimmer here and trim again. And now we can start our measuring process. So it's 3 by 4 for that pocket. So we want to bring it to the 3" mark on this side. And we want to bring it to the 4" side, 4" measurement on this side. Okay, we can save this because you know what? Card makers, scrapbookers, we use everything, don't we? Okay, so this side of our layout is going to get this little design, and the other side of our layout is going to get, well here, let's switch these around because this is a more solid pink. So that solid pink will go on this side, and, oh, we can't. Let's do that again. We're going to put that on this side, and we're gonna put this on this side somehow. We'll make sure that we don't have that little spot down there, but we just want to kind of have a corner piece there. And then when we flip it over, we're gonna have a pink design on this side, and we're gonna have the foil heart design on this side. So my next step is to trim off just a little bit of each of these pieces at the diagonal, because we want to have that nice long edge. So here, I'll turn it over so you can see what I'm doing. I've got that edge right up to the 1/4 inch mark. We're going to cut off a 1/4 inch, and you'll want to, again, hold your paper really steady and slice. Oh, we got the little bump there. There we go. Okay, so we got those two pieces, and then on this one, same thing, just cut off a 1/4 inch. And then I have a feeling I'm going to have to move this heart over, so we're going to switch this over to this pocket here. And now we can build up our hearts on this side. So this piece is going to get a little pink accent right there. And on the flip side, let's just flip that over really quick. This piece is going to tilt this way, and yeah, the hearts didn't work. I thought they would. But we're just gonna go like this. There, we solved that problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and start putting some of this stuff together. When you put a really thin piece of cardstock or a thin ribbon next to your other piece that you're putting adhesive on, it's much easier to get the adhesive on that skinny little piece because it's right next to it. So that's what I did there. So now we just need to add some accenting. I've already tied a couple bows with that pretty ribbon, and we're going to add some of these enamel shapes, these enamel dot things, as accents on the page. Let's go ahead and do some stamping. So we're going to take our tuxedo black color, and we're going to stamp the love 3 times on each of these pieces. So we'll start in the middle. Now we'll grab our glue dots and our adhesive, and we'll stick all of these pieces on. Let's start with the heart. When you're adding these, make sure that you're looking at the sides of the whole piece here, the top and the bottom and the sides. When you center this, you don't want to be thrown off by this diagonal line here. So I'm looking at the outside edges to make sure that I have even space at the top and bottom and on the 2 sides. And there is our finished layout. So I've filled the other pockets with just some extra soft suede cardstock, and those will represent where the photos go. And it's a double-sided page. You could use it for Valentine's Day, of course. You could use it for a wedding or just, maybe an engagement type layout, engagement photos. So let's do some more. Let's do some scrapbooking on 12 by 12 now. When you get your surprise kits in the mail, flip over your little brochures, and there you can see the Stampin' Up! Colors that coordinate with your kit. We have basic black and whisper white, of course, and then the 2 main colors are Flirty Flamingo and Rich Razzleberry. Those are the colors that you'll see on those enamel shapes, those little dots. And so I have pulled out those 2 colors. You can see how nice they coordinate. And we're going to take the pink one, the Flirty Flamingo, away just for now, and we're going to bring in another coordinating color from the Stampin' Up! Stash. This one's called Sweet Sugar Plum. I'm going to grab a scrap of it, and then I'm also going to use the daisy punch, flip it over, unlock it, and that opens it up. I'm going to slip my cardstock through on this end so that I can see that the cardstock is filling the whole entire punch, and then I'm going to put pressure down, and I'm going to punch out a few of these shapes. I'm going to actually punch out 4 of these and 2 of the darker color. So let's say I've already done that. Let's work with a couple of these right now. I'm also going to use some strong adhesive called Fast Fuse. We're going to layer these pieces up. Let's first grab our bone folder tool though. I mentioned that earlier. It's great for burnishing or rubbing on adhesive like the tear and tape strips so that it's really stuck down onto the paper. But we're also going to use it to curl the petals of the flower. If you're really coordinated, you can do 2 of them at a time. On this top layer, we want these petals to go up a little bit higher, so I'm just going to bend them right there at the joint there. I'm going to lift this up, put a little adhesive down, making sure I don't get it on my black cardstock underneath, and then lay this piece on top and just slightly turn it. That way I see just a peak of that color coming through. We'll flip it over and we'll put adhesive on the back side again. And then we're going to fill in the gaps with that other layer. So we're just seeing a peak of that rich raspberry color there. Now for these guys, these are 2 hearts that came in the kit. We're going to cut about 1 inch, and it doesn't have to be exact, but we're going to cut about 1 inch in on each piece. And then we're going to curl the ends. These are the leaves that come in the kit. I'm sorry, the leaves. That's what we're going to make them into. These are the hearts that come in the kit. We're going to cross them over just slightly, and they're going to become leaves. Pretty cool, huh? All right, and then for the envelopes, we're going to seal them all shut, and those are going to become little mats for our photos. As I'm finishing up the coordinating page, I just want to walk you through that ribbon trick that I just did. So when you are putting ribbon or adhesive on the back of skinny ribbon, you want to make sure that the same sides meet up like this, and then you lay them down with your hands holding it at both ends so it's nice and straight and firm and held together. And then you just run your tape runner adhesive along the back, and it will go across both pieces of ribbon if you're holding them snug together. And then as you peel them apart from each other to separate the tape pieces, you have adhesive along the back of all of that ribbon. And here's the finished 2-page layout. So basically I have the same elements on each page, I just arranged them differently. Here is one of those pages with different colors. This is the Flirty Flamingo with the powder pink color cardstock. And so it's a similar layout, it's just different colors. So if you're looking to use your other enamel dots, there you go. I hope you like them. I have one other project to share. This last project is a little mini album, and I'm going to use 2 of the envelopes from the kit, 4 of these scallop card inserts, 1 of the heart foiled cards, a little vellum banner, and then this piece here. I'm also going to bring in some of these fun little enamel shapes that we sell separately in the online store. You can get them in a variety of colors, and we're going to use the Bermuda Bay color with it because I think that's going to be striking with the copper color. What I'm going to start with first is the cover decoration. So I'm taking apart the seam where my papers connect here on the card, and I'm going to cut out a slightly smaller rectangular piece from this. So we'll grab our trimmer and we'll just put it in here. I think I'm going to make it 3 inches. So we'll put it in here around the 3 1/4 inch mark. Trim up and away and hang on to those pieces. You can use those. And let's see, we'll make it about 4 1/2 by 3 inches. So now that I've got the 2 flat edges cut, I'm going to bring this side to the 3-inch mark. And then I'm going to bring this to the 4.5-inch mark here. And now we've got the rounded corners cut off. And we've got a piece that's great for layering on the front of this little mini album. Let's go ahead and stamp this piece with the same stamp that we've been using for our scrapbook pages, the one that says "You Make My Heart Happy." This could be given as a little gift with some photos inside to a loved one. Mini albums are great for gifts. So we have that piece done, we have this piece done. Now we just need to put those together. That can be done really quickly here. Okay, now we can bring these little pieces in. And if you'll notice, they're very similar to the pieces that we get in the kit. But again, you can get them in lots of different colors, and you get hearts and star shapes with them. There we go. I just love blue with copper, especially that turquoisey color. So again, that's the Bermuda Bay from the Brights little enamel shapes. We'll add this to the front of our album. And now we need to start assembling the album. So we're going to take 2 envelopes and we're going to put this one inside this one so that the flap is showing upward here. So we're going to insert it this way, and this will give us a little pocket on the inside of our mini album. And now we have our little booklet cover. On here, we're going to attach these pieces. And what I want you to do if you're going to duplicate this is you're going to take and score at, I think it's 3/8 of an inch in. Let me peek it. Yep, 3/8 of an inch in. So that would be this first long line on the trimmer. Let me zoom you in. So this first long line here, and then 2 little marks over. So just between the 1/4 inch and the 1/2 inch mark. And we're going to score it. And we'll do that again with all the other pieces. And I've already done it to 2, so let's just put this last one in. We have 4 of these pieces. Move the trimmer out of the way. We're going to flip these 2 over, and we're going to add some of that sticky strip. I'm sorry, not sticky strip, that's what we used to have. Some of this tear and tape adhesive. And I will demonstrate here tearing. You can totally tear this stuff off. I just always somehow get a little bit of my cardstock to peel up with it. So that's why I prefer the scissors. But I know many people have success with tearing. There we go. We're done. Now let's take our bone folder and just make sure that that adhesive is nice and strong. Do it on all 4 pieces. And let's start with the bottom piece. So peel off the backing. We'll bring our album back in. And this one's going to go down towards the bottom. And this one's going to go right up here, right? So we want to make sure that the others fit in between. So what you'll want to do next is layer them all up together without peeling off the backing. And then separate them by kind of going like this, making them evenly spaced. And that looks about right. So if you have them about 1/8 of an inch away from each other, all the way up, you're going to get them to have a nice spacing. So let's go ahead and peel off the backing on this one. And where do you start? That's a good question. Nobody asked that because I'm not live. But I just thought somebody might be asking that. You want to start so that you have about the same amount of spacing on these 2 sides as you do on the bottom. I didn't really tell you where to start, did I? Okay, and then we'll just layer these on top of each other like this. And that worked out pretty well. We're going to add a little heart up here at the top because that piece is going to stay in place. We're going to add photos, and you can just bend up these pieces in your album. So here would be a photo, here could be a photo, here's another one, and they're going to bend right at those creases. Just like this. You can even get some on the back side. Ta-da! And then you can stick some memorabilia in here or other photos, maybe secret photos. So this could be slipped off and opened up to look at, and then all they have to do is just kind of curve the edges in a little bit and the bow will slip back on. So nobody has to worry about untying your cute little bow at the bottom there. There we go. There's the finished mini album. Now that you've watched my video, I hope that you can see that there's so much more to these kits than meets the eye. Never tried paper pumpkin? Not sure if it's something that you want to get month after month? Well, guess what? The kits in the US are just $19.95 plus tax. That's it. What if you don't like the kits? There's no commitment needed. You can stop your subscription at any time. So I say, give it a try. Thank you for watching. It builds creativity to think outside the box. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can catch more paper pumpkin videos that I've shared using past kits and more that I'll share with future kits. Also, be sure to visit my website at stampyourartout.com so that you can view close-up photos of these projects, see other paper pumpkin kit ideas, and see many other great ideas that I share using Stampin' Up! Products. If you're watching my video on YouTube, look for the links in my description below. And remember, to see some extra exclusive paper pumpkin project ideas, get your subscription started with me as your demonstrator. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.